missed you. It was a
I love Rudy.
You gonna
I love
talk?
the corn.
Are you talking?
It was great.
I just want to make sure you got it.
Yes, sir, we did. Thank you very, very much.
One day, after the first of the year.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. $6:29. We got one more minute.
The YouTube said to me when we started at 6. I said, well, we're going to start it without lunch. That's probably
Have a funeral tomorrow. Do you go and do the funerals too? Do you do? You have to go back and do the funerals.
Some, but not tonight.
I mean, no, you don't.
Yeah, I
do
didn't.
tomorrow.
No. No, it was today. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all turn your phones on to vibrate or silent or off, or I even turned my goat off so it wouldn't make a noise.
You go.
Yeah,
I don't know.
okay.
Here we go.
City Council meeting, December the 21st, 2021, 6:30 p.m. This was rescheduled from December the 23rd because of the holidays. Citizens are encouraged to follow the COVID-19 safety measures provided by the CDC guidelines. This meeting will be open to the public. However, meetings are available to watch on YouTube channels. https://YouTube BE/DWYE4U5 blank BFM. Underscore BFM. Please mute your phones and computers to avoid any interruption during the meeting. Okay, this meeting is called to order. Thank y'all very much for showing up tonight. We appreciate any of the citizens that likes to come out and voice their opinions, or if they have questions and stuff to do. We just thank y'all very much for coming. I know sometimes it gets kind of rough to get here, you know, after you go home and get your supper and stuff and then decide to come on back in. So we're just glad to have you here. We thank you very much. Okay, if y'all would please stand for prayer, please. And at this time, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to ask our pastor to lead us in prayer tonight. You.
Me?
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm instant in and out. Lord, we just thank you for tonight, Lord God, and we ask that you send your wisdom from heaven to this council. Lord, that you bless each person here tonight, that everything will be done according to your will and your ways, Lord. And we'll give you the glory always. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible. Okay, and tonight we have from my right side, we have Councilman Griffin, Councilman Prater, Councilman Pro Tem Bass. To my left, we have Councilman Wiggins and Councilman Talbert. Pam, our city secretary / administrator / Heinz 57. She does everything for us. We have Johnny Tabor here, our engineer. We have Jean back there from our water department and our police department. We thank y'all very much for being here. Okay, all right. At the citizens' presentation, the City Council welcomes public comments at this point on items not specifically listed on the agenda. Speakers must sign up before the meeting begins. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes each. The council cannot respond to matters not listed on the agenda until a further meeting. Okay? We have two people. One is Linda Owens. Why? And what I'm doing, I'm just going to kind of give you a thing that's what kind of a rundown what we've been trying to work on. Mr. Kilgore and I have been talking about the child safety program and the money, the stuff that comes from McLennan County. We had a citizen that was worried, I guess, thinking that we had $10,000 a year that we was getting from McLennan County for child safety, and they wanted to know why it wasn't getting taken to the school. Well, Mr. Kilgore and I have been working on this and talking every day since I've been mayor, and the council people know this too. We did have it up to $10,653.40, but the account for 2021, we bought 16 cameras for the school in the total amount of $9,620 for the school. Mr. Kilgore tried to explain to the citizen that got involved what was happening, but could not get them to understand, and asked me to let you know. Okay? Danielle Scott, our District 6, on the CLFRF grant that we received in the amount of $210,000 this year, and we will receive $210,000 of the rest of it next year. And we have until 2023 to use this grant money. It can be used on water, which and sewer or stuff like that we need. We also got a hold of the attorney in Austin, Texas, and let him know, and he's got all the paperwork now. He said as far as he sees, there is no legal thing that anybody could say, hey, I'm going to sue because this and that. He said that money was for that, and we can use it for that. But he will get back to me in the future because he's got somebody on the team helping him work on that. Talked with the water attorney, and of course that's what he said. Okay. On 11/30/21, I spoke with Councilman Wiggins and asked what he thought about ordering the street lights for Market Street. Gave him the price and asked if he agreed, because I am the new kid on the block and did not want my tail in trouble. He laughed at me and laughed at me. He thought it was a good deal, and if y'all will look over there in the corner, that's what the street lights are going to look like. That go there in the left-hand corner, or my left-hand corner. They are standing in the back there. They're very pretty.
10 of them.
Got 10 of them. We're going to have 2 out here and 8 down the city. The bulletproof glass for City Hall, we took bids from Glass Doctor in Waco and had to put up half the amount of $6,850. This was paid on 3/24. He would not respond to us. Last meeting we had, somebody made a suggestion that I go to his office, Mr. Wiggins, and I said I can do that, and I did. I went down to his office and I sat there for 45 minutes before his secretary come out and said, oh, he had to leave on an emergency. I said, no problem. But anyway, apparently his money got frozen on his account because while he was on vacation, and he is getting it back with us. I talked to the main corporation, things over Glass Doctors, which Glass Doctors are owned individually, but they still nationwide. And so they're helping us get our money back on that. I've also gotten 3 more bids, so we'll get that on our next agenda. We now, 2 weeks ago, I met with Doc Anderson. Everybody knows Doc Anderson, our state representative, about the water. Me and Doc Anderson and 3 more mayors in the small areas that are having problems about water and stuff like that. So I sat with him, and he gave me some people that he wanted me to talk to because they're also having trouble getting meters at their little towns. The station that was going to go to Lorena is not happening. They can't get meters, they can't get the water because their water comes from Robinson. Okay, so anyway, he gave me some people to talk to about getting some help, and I've been involved in calling those people and trying to get things taken. On 12/16/21, I talked with Mr. Busby on the animal service for the city of Waco, and he came down, and him and I sat down and had a visit, and he gave me, you know, what they usually charge, you know, for animal. It's in the price range. Example, if you get 10 dogs, you turned in 10 animals at the thing, then that is going to be at $55 a dog or an animal, okay, on an average monthly. You may not turn in 10 a month, but if you turn in 10, it's $500 and something, $550 a month for one full year. It starts on a facial year, and their facial year you'll have until now in their facial year to turn in animals, and then with no cost. But after their facial year, then they come in and say, oh, okay, they gave me 10 animals, they're going to pay me $550 something a month times 12, $6,000 a year. If you turn in 7, they will lower that. If you turn in more, they will raise that. So that's one reason we haven't had that done, is because of the price wise. You know, I just don't know if the city can afford to do anything right now, but I have been talking to people, okay? And I guess that's all I have to say. Okay, thank you. Okay, the next person on the meeting is Mr. Robert Reeves. Mr. Reeves, if you'll come up there. He is the baseball association at the ball field.
Hello, everybody. I didn't know how to start this, which way I would go. I ran 100 different things through my mind. But I hope you guys know and understand that we're on the verge of losing our community as a whole. We're fixing to lose our baseball association. We've already lost our football association. My son is not a Bruceville-Eddy Eagle. My son is a Troy Trojan. That is sad because of the lack thereof, parents being involved, getting their children out, the city being involved on the city property that we have. We have a baseball field up here that belongs to the city that until 3 or 4 months ago that the city didn't even know that they owned. The baseball league has mowed this field for the last 16 years. The baseball field has paid out of their own pockets. I personally, for the last 4 years, have mowed that whole place, spent whole weekends up there by myself, grass 4 foot tall, knocking it down for the baseball season, so our children can have a place to play ball. We don't have lights. We have the worst ball fields in 5 counties around us. We have a plug at the 10U field that when you plug it in, it electrocutes you. It shocks you. What happens is my son is there to help me, and he goes to plug it in, and it locks him up and it kills him. That is a safety issue. Our concession stand grows mold in it. If you're allergic to penicillin, don't come to our concession stand. You're going to get sick. We have septic. When's the last time that we've even sent anybody out there to check the septic tanks out there? We have to pay out of our own money to have plumbers come out and snake and drain and do whatever. Nobody pays attention to them fields up there. After the ball season's over, the grass grows till it's about 8-10 feet tall. The gentleman that mows the property behind it, where the big cornfield is, he ran into the 10U fence and kind of barely half-assed stood it back up, and it looks like crap. Who's responsible for that? Does the baseball association have to pay out of our pockets that takes away from our children in this league? This is absolutely ridiculous. This is absurd. We don't have a city park for our kids to play in. We can't host tournaments up here at our ball fields because we don't have lights. The simple necessities that we need as a community, we don't have. And what's crazy is we have the lights, but we can't get the city to approve the poles to be put up out there so we can hang our lights, so we can host tournaments, so we can play games, so we can, how do you grow a community? You raise good kids. You put them in ball programs. You put them in everything to get them off the street. When we do have games up there, we're worried that kids are going to get ran over up there because they don't have anything to do up there while they're up there. While their brothers and sisters are playing ball, and mom and dad are more worried about focusing on what's happening in front of them and their son playing the game, knowing that he's got, that my son runs around with his friends up there. I coach up there. I've been doing this for 4 years. I love these kids. What builds a home? It's not the house, it's not the bricks, it's not the roof, it's the love that's in there. That's what brings the community together. We're losing this. Who wants to move to a town to build this city up, and we can't even host baseball tournaments? We don't even have our own football league anymore. Like I said, my son is a Troy Trojan, and I live in Bruceville-Eddy. I live on Anna Hobbs back here. I look at those solar panels every day. This is not what it was supposed to be. We got dogs. For the last 2 years, there have been kids that have been bit by dogs out there. I personally make sure I take my pistol up there with me every time because I dare one of them dogs to come at me. It'd be the last time it happens. We got a guy back there that has a fence that's dilapidated, that's fallen down, that's embarrassing. The kids get into his property. He yells, he cusses, and I think they're doing something about that gentleman, but for the last 5 years, it's been ridiculous. The mayor last year and 2 years ago sent 10 loads of rocks in because we were having parents get stuck in our driveway because they couldn't park because there's no rocks out there. The poles are rotted, the paint's peeling off the dugouts. We have to go up there and we drag and we spend our money as parents, and literally we are suffering this year. We're trying to find sponsors to make sure we have a ball season. Folks, these are our kids. You guys want to build this community? You want something to be proud of? It starts with our children. They are our future. So, I told Jeffrey Diaz when I first started this, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to lay down. The Marine Corps would never allow me to do that. And I'm going to tell you guys that I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to lay down. This is not the last of me that you've seen. I'm going to try to get on the board. I'm going to try to get on the meetings. I need to see about getting poles put out there. I need to see about getting the safety issues taken care of. I need to see about getting these people with the dogs and the people who are tearing up our facility out here, and we need to hold them responsible. That fence is not cheap for that guy who tore it up, hit it with his tractor. And out there one day, I'm like, what in the world? Kind of just half-assed it back up. It's not right. It's not right. It's not fair. It's not fair for our kids whatsoever, and that's what we got to remember. You know, a long time ago, right before this last meeting, this last election, there was a post that was put out on Facebook, and it says, ask your city officials, what do you want? What would you want from them? And everybody was talking about city sewer, and they were talking about McDonald's and a Buc-ee's and this and that. Well, no, that's not what we need. What we need is something for these children. We bring these kids back, we get this all taken care of, this will fix itself from the inside out. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well said.
Okay, all right. Number 3, police report, Chief Dorsey.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Have our monthly reports to go over for November. The police department report, we had a total of 96 calls for the month, generated 12 reports, 11 crashes that we worked, and citations and warnings is a total of 140, and that's broken down into 70 citations and 70 warnings. For the city ordinance enforcement report, we have 8 open violations. We have 3 that were pending citations. Some of those have already been resolved. And then we have 5 in citation status, so that's a total of 16 active cases that we have on that. Wanted to share a couple things with everybody. Last week, Gene and the guys helped us put up a sign. It's the Internet Purchase Exchange Safety Zone, and the sign looks like this. They've been on Facebook, and some other people have helped spread the word for us. But the whole point behind this was to offer citizens, a neutral and safe place that they could go to if they're selling and buying something online. As long as it's not a drug deal, we'll be okay. But it is video, or under video surveillance, and there is some solar lighting out in that area. But just wanted to give citizens a place, instead of having someone come over to your house, or, this would just offer a safe place for those that sell or buy stuff online. A neutral ground that they can meet. And then we're not too far behind if y'all need us. But I welcome anybody to utilize this if you can. Hopefully it'll be a benefit to some of our citizens. And then the other thing I wanted to share again was just, we have a close patrol request form. I have printed about 20 of them with me tonight. But if anyone's going out of town for the holidays and you want us to keep an eye on your house and not just, drive by and shine a light, we're actually getting out and checking things and making sure everything's okay. But this just offers us some information to help us, when we're going by, if there's, certain vehicles there, we know that they're supposed to be there or not. But we want to help those that are going out of town or going to be away for an extended period. We can keep an eye on your house and, check it multiple times throughout the day or night. So if y'all would like a form, y'all can get one tonight, or call me, or you can send me an email, and I'll be already emailing these requests to people. That'd be easier, just to get an email, you can fill it out and then email it back to me. And then I just wanted to remind everybody just to, lock up and keep your vehicles locked. I know we haven't had any burglaries in a while, thankfully, but I know in the past, people were going around checking cars, and they were only, burglarizing cars that were unlocked, and they would leave the ones that are locked alone. So that way, they're not actually, breaking a window out or making much noise. They're just checking the cars that are unlocked, open the door, grab whatever, and take off. I know it's a bad habit to leave your firearm in your car, but please don't take anything of value in with you. Don't leave anything out in, open view, because that, is intimidation for people. The other thing, after Christmas and with gifts and everything, try not to put your boxes out on the street, electronics or TVs, or because people are going to see what you have. If you have a big box with a 70-inch TV out in front of your house, people are going to know, hey, they got this nice TV in their house, let's take it. So it's just, if y'all can just please remind everybody to just keep things behind locked doors, because I know, especially with COVID, and, this year's been a challenge for everybody, and it's, made things, a little bit crazy. So I just want everybody to be safe, and hopefully we can prevent any burglaries or, thefts of any kind from happening. Yes, sir.
What happened downtown last night? Like somebody tried to run a vehicle or something through the door of the donut shop.
Yeah.
About the donut shop, unfortunately, a vehicle that was parked at the Family Dollar, somehow the vehicle had a malfunction, because when the person put it in reverse, it took off, and they panicked. I don't think they thought to hit the emergency brake or try to stop the vehicle.
She didn't.
And unfortunately, the vehicle crashed into the front of the donut shop and damaged it pretty bad.
I just know they've been broken into several times, so.
So this
I was
was
just
accident.
curious.
This was an accident.
Yeah, her
Insurance
brakes,
will
yeah,
cover that.
her brakes
The
did.
person that did it, it's an accident, everything's gonna be taken care of.
Thank you.
Nobody was hurt, thankfully, that's the main
Thanks.
thing. But, they did, kind of put a temporary cover over the doors, and then I have one of our spare patrol vehicles parked in front of there right now, just to serve as a deterrent from anybody going in there. And we have cameras in there too also. So. Yes, ma'am.
Have you had any luck with anybody responding to wanting to come to work at our police force or anything?
No.
Not yet.
I haven't had any applicants.
Well,
in a while.
I still got my fingers crossed for you, because y'all are working your tails off. I mean, I've got his schedule, okay? And this man here, some people are going on vacation, and he's down for 3 days straight or 4, no time off. The only one. He works on everybody's days off. But anyway, we need help.
He
And
works when other people are working.
yeah, and so it just, you need some help, and so I got my fingers crossed that hopefully the academy's gonna put somebody out that wants to learn, so you can mold them in your way.
He's also on call every Saturday
Oh,
and
he's on call
Sunday.
every weekend, every night and
So
early.
it's 7 days a week for
Yeah.
him available.
But I mean, we're making it work. I know we're a little bit short-handed right now, but
It's
you know, I'm
working,
just
yeah.
keeping my faith and hope, and you know, it's all going to work out. It's not going to be, we're not going to be short-staffed forever.
Okay. Well, I thank you for it.
I feel like, you know, Bruceville-Eddy is a good place to work, but unfortunately, we can't compete with, you know, bigger departments that pay, you know, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a year, unfortunately.
Well, hopefully one of these days we can be up to that scale where we can be like they are, hopefully. We'll work on it.
But we have a good relationship, you know, with Lorena and Moody and the sheriff's office, and
Yeah.
so, you know, we help each other out, and,
Yes, sir.
you know, if we need help, all we gotta do is pick up the phone, and, you know.
Well, it's not underappreciated. We appreciate you.
Law enforcement's a brotherhood. I think anybody that wears a badge, you know, if they need help, we're coming, you know.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't matter where you are, or you know, we're gonna be there, so.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you.
But I wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. You too, sir.
I appreciate everybody very much. And if there's anything I can do for, you know, any of our citizens, I have open door policy. I'm available 24 hours a day. So if y'all need me for anything, I'm happy to help out however I can.
Okay. Thank you, Chief.
Thank y'all.
Okay, number 4, the water report with Gene Sprouse. Council to discuss and consider and probably take action on approving a bid for the meter at Westgate Well. The bid for 2220 is just replacing the head of the meter, and the bid for 2548 to replace the whole meter. Okay, Gene, take it
So,
over.
before I get into that, neither, we did get the 4-inch pump. Not gonna worry, we haven't had to use it yet, but we've got it. So if we have an issue like we had a time or two ago with 6 inches, that 4-inch pump will keep up.
Amen.
So, the meter at Westford Well, we've had them calibrated and they came out fine. 2 weeks ago, when I was doing the wells on the weekend, it wasn't running. So I went out there to make sure the well was running. The meter, there's a gear or something in there that's broken. He's already replaced it 2 or 3 times, and you know, I think it's time now to either get a new head or to replace the meter itself instead of band-aiding it, you know, every other year or so. But that's my idea. Yes, sir.
How long has it been since we replaced your census valve? It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Well, we need it, because that's the only way we keep those water pumping.
Yeah, and we gotta know how much water to pump.
Yeah.
We're Southern Trinity,
Yeah.
and you know, I don't wanna shortchange them and them come back on us.
Right.
Well, that's such your history too.
There's only like $300 difference in just getting a whole new one.
Right.
I get
I mean,
that.
either way we go, we can do it ourselves, you know, as far as changing it up, not, they'll order it, K&W, and they'll send it with the, be certified and calibrated, and then we can put it in.
Ms. Mayor,
Oh, yes.
I know how important this is, so if I may, I would like to make a motion, we replace the entire meter.
Okay?
I'll second it.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
So we're gonna take action to approve a bid for the meter at Westgate Well. The bid for replacing the meter, for the bid of $25.48.
Yes, ma'am.
To replace the whole meter.
Yeah.
And I'll email her tomorrow so they can get it ordered. Probably looking at getting it, probably after the first of the year with the holidays.
We got
Right.
Okay, Gene, I have a question. Did you do the service order? Oh, we had to take a vote on it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
And then we'll go back to this.
Hey, we voted on it, so I think it's a done deal.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Then he
in
can
favor?
already,
Unanimous.
I got-
go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, yes, I had Laura print this out,
Yes.
and so, you know, so y'all be aware of what, this is for October, or November, I believe it was. Yeah, it's not December's.
Oh, okay.
We're not through with December.
Okay, so people of the 27 meters, some of those have been turned back on?
Yeah,
The ones that
those
were cut
all
off?
been turned back on. Those were the turnoffs that we did last month.
Last month.
After- Yeah,
Okay,
and the leaks and all.
okay. So this was for October.
You're gonna be a month behind November.
This is for November.
And are they turned off the very next day, like they,
No, we turn them off 5 working days after the 15th.
oh, 5?
Tomorrow, we're gonna do turn-offs.
Okay,
So we're gonna be the bad guys for Christmas.
yeah.
But
Okay, Mr. Thomas?
I noticed in, October, we went over a little limit from Lake Bell to Blue Bonnet. Was there a specific reason, even though it wasn't much? Even though we sold a little more water as well, but did you have a leak or?
Well, I'm sure we had that one.
I'm just asking.
We've had, you know, a couple of big leaks. Foster Branch, we had one, 6-inch.
Well, this was for October.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that one out there.
So, and I'll have to look into it for sure, because.
Well, it's no big, it's
I
not,
didn't know,
not a big deal.
but, you know, we try to keep it down.
Well, I know, because normally in that time of year, we don't get close to that. So, I was just curious. Thank you, ma'am.
Any more questions or anything? Or anything else you want to talk about, Gene?
No.
Monday, I go have surgery, I don't know what time.
Oh, yeah, he's having surgery. He's having surgery.
Fix a tendon in my arm, I ruptured a tendon in my arm, so they're gonna do it Monday, and then hopefully I'll be bionic man 2 days later.
Well, he's going to be coming into the water department, so he'll be taking payments at the water department while he's off duty.
Yeah, I'll be in there tomorrow to help Laura with phone.
Yeah, we're training him.
Be sure and smile. Be sure.
Thank you, Gene.
Hey, you quit patting yourself on the back. Quit hurting that arm.
Okay. Number 5, the engineer's report. Johnny, council discuss, consider, and probably take action on approve for engineering, to approve the engineering service agreement for doing the hydraulic analysis study of the water system. That's number A. Are you gonna try to, do A and B at the same time, or are we gonna just take one at a time? Let's do A. We'll just take A first.
I typically do this every time I meet with the council, and that's to give you a report on projects. There's some things on the agenda tonight that I don't have on here, but we will discuss those. Just my report, no action required. Rural development, the new wastewater system. Terry Chenoweth with the USDA Rural Development issued an email review on November 22nd of the contract documents and specifications. We are making the revisions that she identified, should be completed with those by mid-January, so my plan is to have them bless it, so that part's done.
Okay, good.
One more thing down off the list. And then the hydraulic analysis and mapping update, we'll talk about that as an agenda item. The council authorized the hydraulic analysis, is that in order? Yeah. The council authorized the hydraulic analysis and system mapping at the November 23rd meeting, and the engineering agreement was signed by both parties. We've not proceeded with the work because I think the council had some questions about the contract. So I'll field questions if that's appropriate.
Do you have any questions from the council?
I didn't have any questions.
Yes,
Okay, Mr. Wiggins?
yes, you know, there was a difference in the agreement that you presented this with, at that meeting. Well, actually, at the meeting, we didn't have an agreement. We voted to do it for $6, but we didn't have no agreement
Right.
at the time. Now, back at our, June meeting, we did have a different agreement. There is some difference in it.
Yes.
And why is that?
Well, the item that's probably most noticeable is that in the first agreement, we proposed to do a growth scenario for the system where we kind of add 1 meter after every 33% growth, to see what the system does and what you might need to do to fix that. But that issue came up in a Public Utility Commission disagreement with another client of mine, and they viewed that as a capital improvement program, and took a couple of lawyers to get that straightened out, because basically they were looking at where are we going to expand to, what are we going to do, and they viewed it that the water system was proposing to make expansions for water meters that didn't exist, and they were about to require that they do that. You propose this as a capital improvement program, you got to do this. And so I quietly took it off of all my contracts. That doesn't mean that I won't look at some things that I know we've already discussed here. You got some specific places where you got some people requesting meters, 10, 15, 20 meters, whatever the number is. I will look at those at your direction. So when I get through, my plan is, when I get through with looking at the system as it exists today, as best we know it, then we can look at that and then come back and I'll do whatever other analysis I need to for the other areas.
Okay, also, Johnny, on that part one, if you have it there, section A, that one of the things that changed was, and back on the old one, when I say old one, I mean June the 3rd of this year, said updated maps will be based on a copy of the previous 2017 system maps that the operator maintains and marks up as required by TCEQ, period. Now, this one's a little different. It says, as the second sentence is added. In other words, you add it as a minimum, maps and markups provided by the owner must include and identify water main size, pressure reducing valve, water meter size, if over standard 5/8. And the other thing was, or under data. That was added sections in there. And are we gonna be able to do that, Gene? This is our question.
I've got a map in there now that I sat down the other day and went through page by page. And where Pam and them hadn't already put the blue dots for 2 meters, I tried to put some in. Yeah, I'm sure one or two's gotten the extra, but we, to the best of our knowledge, they're there. And any lines that we've dug up that are not what the map says, we've updated that with that correct line size, except for the Remington Ranch, the new 10-inch, I did pencil that on there.
Okay.
And I didn't do 4th Street.
Okay.
On those individual road boards,
Right.
but I mean, I can't.
The reason that it's in there is because I know from the time we do one till we do one the next time, is they're gonna find lines that they thought were a certain size, but when they dig them up, they're different, or they install a new pipe that's bigger. And so I want to draw attention to that because that's really important in our hydraulic analysis. And the other thing is, I know Gene does that. So, but this is the contract that you're looking at is the one that I use for every water system client I have. And it gets modified a little bit periodically to accommodate the problems that we run into.
You can't do it if you don't have information.
Exactly.
Just like when we did pressures in '08, you didn't have them before
Right.
that either, did you?
Right, no,
You got them though, didn't you?
I did. So some of those are just massages of the contract that have come up in the course of doing the work.
Okay, all right. Then to go scroll on down to part 1D, it says the engineer will meet with the owner, An owner at the very top, it says City of Bruceville-Eddy. But on the prior one, the June one, it also went to the top and said the City of Bruceville-Eddy was owner, but you had down there, will meet with the city council. Are you saying that the owner, when you say the City of Bruceville-Eddy, are you saying the city council?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify.
For my purposes, unless this council gives some special dispensation to somebody
Yes.
to act in your behalf,
Okay.
you are the controlling entity. So my reports are gonna come to the council.
Okay.
All that will be with the council.
Okay. And then on that, on the next page there, let me ask you about some, on the maps and reports. What about some CAD files? In addition to some PDF?
No, I will not issue CAD files. I don't for anybody. I never have. There are some selected circumstances where I'm working with Texas Department of Transportation, who has their specific kind of CAD that they run.
Mm-hmm.
And they tell me before we negotiate a contract that they're gonna require CAD drawings, and they tell me exactly all the details of what color everything has to be and how it has to be identified, and I will do those. There are some larger cities who have and run some kind of CAD system that they require that. But for a rural system, a small city, you don't have, I don't think y'all have CAD software at all. And you don't have anybody that runs it. So there's no reason for me to do that. And the information that I provide you is what Gene has been using all this time, that is a PDF file. You can bring it up in PDF. You can actually edit it or make it. I have a client that does this on the computer. So instead of marking up the map, they bring it up. They have an Adobe editing package, and they will put red lines and blue lines and all that stuff where you find the information, and they keep it as a permanent record. I still like a drawn map, just because I think that's more common to most people to understand how that works. But my CAD files for water systems are made up of probably 20 different layers of information, from floodplains, aerial photographs, county property maps, state right-of-way maps. It's all stacked on top of each other. And I assembled it in a way so that I could find everything that I needed when I was doing mapping.
Okay.
So it's not something that I publish.
Okay, one other thing on part 4B, would you clarify that for me? Just for clarification.
Part 4B?
Yes, sir. We start off with engineering fees.
Yes. So when I get this done and I identify where you have a problem, that you need to make some improvements, that will not be a set of plans and specifications that are suitable for that to be built by, okay? That will require an additional, if you decide, yes, we want to do this line over here, then there will be a separate contract for it.
Okay, separate contract, separate fee for that.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, That's all I have.
Mr. Prater?
On this PDF that you're talking about, do we have that right now? I mean, can we go on there and add that to our system, our changes that we do?
I don't know if we have furnished you a PDF in the past, only because it hasn't been requested. But it's not uncommon that I get that request.
Now, would that help us with what we discussed last time about what we're doing out there off of Old Bethany and all that? Would that?
No, the PDF is simply a map that you can edit and look at on the computer.
So everything that we've done, we could add to that and it'll show you what we've done out there.
Yeah.
So it would have helped us. We wouldn't have to maybe map it out all as much.
That would certainly be easier. The problem with it is that when I print maps, I can print them giant. So when I get a PDF file, my PDF file for the city is the entire water system from Falls County all the way to Moody almost.
Okay.
And so I can actually bring that up in PDF, the entire system, and look at all of it, which y'all could do that if you had the software too. But unless you have somebody that's gonna be really diligent and you're gonna keep backups to all the stuff that you do, you can get in trouble. I've had a client that said, yeah, let's do that. They had one person that knew how to do it. They did it. When they left, it left with them. Whereas a map that you have, it's something material that anybody can look at.
So basically what Gene's writing down on the maps that we have already is the same thing as putting it on there.
Exactly.
All right, sounds good. That's all I need.
Okay. Now, do we, somebody will make a motion to, or is there anything to take a motion on there? It says take action to approve.
Engineering.
We've already approved it.
Yeah.
We just need
Just need some clarifications.
or agreement.
Okay. All right, council discuss, consider, and possibly take action for Tabor and Associates to proceed now with phase 1 of the emergency preparedness plan for the water system.
Well, as a result of our winter storm, TCEQ passed rules under Senate Bill 3 that said that every water system had to make their water system where it would not lose water service to its customers under almost any imaginable situation. So if the whole power grid goes down, you gotta have some way to get water to all your customers. Different systems require a little different handling of that. So what I did that I sent to all my clients was basically said, I'm not sure what would be most cost effective for each system to do as I wrote that, but that I would figure out what I thought was the best way to do it. So obviously one alternative, I'll use y'all's system and Gene and I talked about this a little bit. You have an elevated storage tank at the Ford plant. You have elevated storage at Westridge. That might serve everybody with the required amount of water. The pressure can't drop below 20 psi. And if that's the case, then the Westridge site has water from Bluebonnet. So they're required to continue to send you water. So that goes into the ground tank. You run your booster pumps and it puts it into the elevated. That provides pressure to a good part of your system. It's a little different at the Ford plant because the Ford plant does not have a Bluebonnet valve and meter at it. So it relies on water from the Talbot well.
And Westridge.
And Westridge, because Westridge feeds into the ground tank. So it seems to me that at a minimum, it's going to take a generator at the Ford tank to at least run the booster pumps and put the water from the ground tank into the elevated storage and the same thing at Westridge. Whether or not we have to run a well pump is yet to be determined. So that's the part that I look at to see how are we gonna do that. I have some systems, they don't have any elevated tank. It's all pneumatic. They gotta put a generator at every pump station. Or they have to have a water supply company like Bluebonnet. So if Bluebonnet was bringing their water in at 70 PSI, we could probably push that all over the system, but they don't. So we're gonna have to come up with some way where that under emergency conditions, we have a plan. So the process, there's a 41-page procedure that they published. It said you have to have a plan. It has to be submitted by March the 1st, and it has to be implemented by July the 1st. I think those are the 2 dates. Mr. Talker, you have a question?
Yeah, a statement. They've always had this, but because of the freeze, they've tweaked it this time. We've had one in place, and they have many different ways you can do this, but they've hammered down on it, is what I'm trying to say again.
One of the things that was supposed to be done, I don't know if you did this, you're supposed to notify your power supplier that you are, what's the term? Anyway, you're like, the water system is like a hospital. You can't.
Priority order.
Yeah, you're top priority.
Yeah.
And that was to be done. The next step is for us to develop a plan and submit a plan. And then the step after that is for us to implement it. So the part that I'm talking about here is just figuring out the plan, getting it to the city, what the cost of generators would be, that sort of thing.
What are those big pumps for again, if it's a Ford plant, it's inside
Say
the
again?
station? What are the big pumps for? Yeah, up there at the Ford plant?
They pump the water out of the ground tank and then push it into the elevator.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So you were saying we were gonna have to do it, put something else there too, to bring it from
Well, you'd have to have-
Talbot Well?
Generator, you'd have to have.
Well, I don't know, but at least we're gonna have to put, it seems to me at this point that we're gonna have to put an engine and standby generator
Okay, I
that
got you.
makes power, that substitutes, so if the ice drops all the power lines, you
I
still have power.
misunderstood you because I thought you said we might have another pump to get it. So I said, well, that's not them free pumps and what are they for then?
Right, no,
So I thought maybe you changed it.
I'm assuming that their pumps are gonna continue to pump like they're supposed to, as long as they have power.
Okay.
And the power is what we need.
Mr.
I
Bass?
got you.
So what you're actually saying is we need the generator for sure at the Ford plant, but if the Westridge is supplied by Bluebonnet, why would we also have to have a generator there?
I'm not saying that you do, but that's what I have to look at.
Yeah,
And it
okay.
has to do with the pressure that the water comes
Yeah.
in. I'm pretty sure that that location is high.
We will have to have a generator there because if we lose power, we can't get water to the elevator.
So the water comes in
Okay.
from Bluebonnet, but it doesn't have enough pressure to push
Yeah,
all the way
okay, I
to the
see,
elevator.
okay.
So it's put in the ground
Yeah.
tank and then re-pumped to the top of the
So,
tank,
so to satisfy them, we're for sure gonna have to get 2 generators,
at least.
at least.
The next question that will come up will be, can we get enough water from the Westridge elevated tower into the Ford tank without running the Talbot well?
Mm-hmm, okay.
Any way
Okay,
to test that beforehand?
I'll do it hydraulically.
Okay.
Mr. Talbot?
What about the Friendly Oaks plant? What about the Friendly Oaks plant? There's no elevator there.
Well, one of the things that was done when we did the interstate work
I know.
is we laid a line from the Ford elevator tank. It goes all the way down the interstate, goes all the way to Old Bethany Road, and it turns and goes on Old Bethany Road almost to across from that plant. And I think it has pretty good pressure there.
Most of that was already there except crossing Cal Valley. Except we extended it over here on the other side of the service road.
Yeah, that might be a possibility.
No, it was already there, what I'm saying, before.
Say that again?
Most of the lines were already there before the interstate work, but it wasn't crossing the Cow Valley. But you had to
Right.
extend it from over here from the concrete place.
But now they're big, they're 8-inch lines.
Yes, I There's some of them lines.
But that's what we have to look at to figure out what's the most cost-effective way to meet the requirements of the plan.
All right, do we have a motion to start phase one?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Mr. Griffin made a motion to proceed with phase one of the emergency preparedness plan for the water system. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Bass,
Discussion?
discussion? Yes, sir.
So what I'm proposing here is the same thing I've done for every one of my clients is I don't know exactly what it's gonna take to do any of these at this point. So this initial work is just done by the hour. It'll be a standard hourly rate for my company. If it takes us 3 hours or it takes us 30 hours to figure it out and come up with a plan and some options to present to you, then I'm gonna charge you just hourly rates.
Minimum wage?
Yeah.
I don't know, minimum wage.
Okay.
is very high.
It's going on up now, yeah. All right, thank you,
Just look
Mr.
at the history of all the years, 21 years. So,
Thank you, Mr. Tabor, I appreciate it.
Did you get a vote on
no.
Oh, we need to vote?
Yeah.
All in
You always
favor?
forget
I
that.
always forget the votes. Unanimous.
There you go.
I'm sorry, I always forget the vote.
I know.
I just figure, well, we got a first
Well,
and
you
second,
just
we're
thought
gonna
you
do
wanted
it.
it stuff.
Yeah. All right, thank you, sir.
anything else I need to stay for?
No, sir, not that I know of. We appreciate you coming out tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Y'all have a Merry Christmas.
You too, sir, and thank you for the candy. That was good. Okay, number 6, council to discuss, consider, and probably take action on animal safety for well-being resources to better our community, requested by, I can't pronounce that first name. Michael Micah Forbes, Raby Road, Eddy, Texas. Yes, ma'am. Hi. You don't look like a Michael.
The Micah.
A Micah.
And I'm naturally quiet, so if I have to speak up.
You want to, that's okay, if you can use the mic if you'd rather.
Let's see how it goes.
Okay, we're gonna see how it goes here. All right.
So it was brought to my attention on November 10th of this year that the city of Bruceville-Eddy had elected not to renew a contract with the Humane Society. So that's eliminated all of the resources that we, the people of the community, have for strays. For example, we don't have a McLennan County ASPCA, we don't have a Bruceville-Eddy Animal Control Unit, and we don't have a contract with our local animal shelter. So what are we to do in these instances? You may argue that there's not enough instances to justify the spending necessary for the matter, but I just don't really understand how you can put a cost on safety and well-being. It's not about the quantity, but more about the quality, and the quality of this community is what we're standing on. I don't see any reason why we can't justify at least renewing the contract with the Humane Society Animal Shelter. I spoke with Trey Busby, and I had his contact information, so thank you for getting ahead of that for me. Me personally, I've had 2 instances where I had a cat under the hood of my car one cold morning on my way to work and tried to get it out on the side of 107. I was running late to work. I stopped here at the city hall. It was before it opened, and the gentleman working for the water department had taken it for me and said he would give it to when y'all opened. When I got to work, I noticed that I was bit and that there was pus coming out of the bite wound. So my boss told me, go ahead and go to the clinic just to be safe. Once I was there, a sheriff approached me and asked me where the cat was. I explained to him I left it with the city. When he contacted the city and I couldn't remember who it was I gave the cat to specifically, I didn't get a name. Regardless, they didn't know where it was. Nobody knew at that point where it was. So I personally had to spend $7,000
on a tetanus shot and a series of prep rabies. I had 7 shots in my hand. And that's just a prime example of instances that we could face as individuals in the community with stray animals. Luckily, that was just a small cat that had something going on with it. But like this gentleman mentioned with 2 dogs around the baseball field, he's having to take his pistol at risk of shooting these dogs. If I advocated to go out there and try to relocate those animals and get them out of harm from the community, what am I supposed to do? I can't take them to the shelter because my zip code is 76524. I can't call a local ASPCA. I literally have to, I found this out because on November 9th, I live outside of city limits and people like to dump dogs. And a dog got dumped. We yelled at him from our driveway, don't dump your dog here, but despite he did so anyway. I posted it on the Central Texas Lost and Found Pet page and used those resources outside of this community that I could. And I told them, after nobody claimed him, I told them I would take him to the shelter the next morning, and they informed me that I couldn't because of my zip code. That's when I realized that this became an issue. Chief Dorsey did come out and try to help me by bringing me a kennel and offering me services that he could while he was communicating with the sheriff, because I was in contact with the sheriff multiple times. This was 8 phone calls in 4 hours, and this is while I'm trying to work. I have a normal 8 to 5 job, so it was very stressful just trying to do a good deed by protecting my community and helping this animal, and my hands were tied. So I could suggest possibly to quote you, the drug money, the asset forfeiture fund is possibly being a resource to pay for this. After all, we did just approve $50,000 on a brand new vehicle for the police department, and we currently have 5 or 6 vehicles and only like 3 active officers. And in this instance, we didn't discuss quantity, we discussed quality, because he needed an all-wheel drive vehicle in potential bad weather, and I applaud him for being ahead of that, and I don't see why we can't do the same here. If we can get ahead of the matter, then this could potentially eliminate the issue of your grandparent, your children, your parents, your siblings, anybody getting bit by a stray animal, or just having this, see that horrendous sight when they're on the side of the road dead, starved, or tore up by coyotes, however you want to look at it. But I feel like turning our nose on this matter isn't going to be a solution. We're growing all the time. This is going to be an ongoing issue. It's not something you can just sweep under the rug. So I just simply ask that we consider renewing that contract at the very least, and that will allow us as the community to not only help, me and others would be in a position to help the community first-handedly, but it would also help protect us. So that's pretty much all I have for that. Yes, sir.
Do you live inside or outside the city limits?
Outside.
Okay, so we can only control something that's inside the city limits. So if there's animals outside the city limits, anywhere outside the city limits, and I'm asking you please, Chief Orson, what normally happens? What can someone do about dogs or cats outside the city limits, but in McLean County, is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I believe, sir, if someone lives out in the county, they have a contract with the Humane Society animal shelter, and I believe they'll pick an animal up if they're a bite occurred, or if the animal's vicious, I believe, are the 2 stipulations. And if they live out in the county, they'll come out and get Waco Animal Control, who they're contracted with, to come out and get the animal.
So would they come out and get it because we don't have a contract with the city, does that prevent the county from coming out when that's not in the city limits?
If I may add, when you go to surrender an animal, or if you take a stray into the shelter, they have to go by the address on your ID. So it's all a matter of where your zip code is. So since my zip code is 76524, they associate it with the city, and they go by the city contract regardless whether I'm in or outside the city limits, unfortunately. And I did speak with the sheriff to try to get this resolved. They also told me to contact the Waco Animal Control. I contacted them also. They told me it's not Waco, I can't help you. They basically laughed at me for calling. So, like I said, I had multiple phone calls between sheriffs, the Animal Society, or Humane Society myself, Mr. Dorsey. And I mean, I really reached out at all resources, because I don't personally like standing up here in front of people and having to address this. But this, I plan on staying here in this town for a really long time, and it's gonna forever be an issue, and I don't intend on necessarily giving up on it very easily.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. I didn't realize that they used the zip code, so anywhere, doesn't matter where you live in the city or 10 miles outside city limits, if you got a 76524 zip code, then that puts it on our back.
Look, 330.
Or 7663.
That don't sound right.
Yes.
So if we would've had a contract, they would've been able to help you.
I could have eliminated all of the hours and nonsense of talking to people. I could have loaded the dog up, took him to the shelter, paid the $50, and been on my way home.
And it wouldn't have cost the city anything, just that we had the contract and you would've still paid the $50.
No,
Yes.
No,
When
you
I
still have to
spoke-
pay.
When I
no,
spoke
we
with Trey
had to pay
Dunsky,
$550 a month.
Yeah, but that's on the contract, that's,
Yeah.
But
So it is gonna cost city something.
Okay, here, I'm gonna, okay, when I talked to Mr. Busby, like I was explaining a while ago, whether we take the dog to the shelter or a citizen takes a dog to the shelter. If the citizen takes a dog to the shelter, they pay for their drop-off fee, $50. They still charge the city also. Or if they come and get it, or if we take it to them, then it's a charge to the city. And so they go by calendar year. I think it's like October. So next October, like if we got a contract with them, we could take dogs, cats, what animals, birds, whatever, to the shelter. It's a no-kill zone now. We could take it to that shelter, and they wouldn't charge us anything at the time. But in October, they'll go back and see when we started and see how many animals was turned over by these two zip codes, Bruceville and Eddy, and then they'll do that, and then they divide that by a certain amount, and it comes out to a certain percentage, and per se, if it's 10 animals in that time, that's $550 a month times 12, and then you pay that for a full year, and in that year that you pay that $550 a month for a year, for 12 months, in that 12 months, if you take 20 dogs, you're still paying $550, but when they do their audit, then you're going to pay $1,200 for 20 animals. Or if it drops down to 5, it's $250.
even though she paid the,
That's right, because what he explained it to me, the citizens can drop off an animal, and what you're doing, you're helping pay for their food and their shots, getting fixed if they need to, whatever they have them for so many days, and they try their best to get a hold of the person that owns this animal. They do they look at chips, they look at tags, they look at collar, they try and they put it on their pages. And if they can find the owner, well, that owner comes and gets them, well, they come up and they'll pay this fee that they have accumulated while they're there. And then that owner pays for that. If they don't find somebody to take it, then they're still they're still paying and servicing that dog and getting it fixed. And that's why he also told me that I'm going to be talking with I'm going to have another meeting with him and ABC. And so we could set up a thing, because it's not the owners, it's not the animals' fault that they're bred and puppies and cats and stuff running around everywhere. It's the owners. They want them, and then they let them go, and then oh no, I got a bill, I ain't claiming it, so they don't claim it. But if they can if we can set up something with ABC also to get them taken in and get them neutered or spayed, whatever, and then get them back to the owner, you know, let the owner pay the deal, and then that way they can't keep breeding.
Right.
You explained this very well earlier.
Huh?
You explained it very well the first time.
Okay, all right, there we go. And I appreciate that.
But
so.
yes, that could get pretty expensive with that being outside in the county also.
It very well could,
That,
but,
I mean,
What
I
do you do?
understand what you're saying, you
and
got,
there's a lot of people I know living in a small town, if there's a stray dog out there and they don't wanna deal with it, they'll pop one in it and be done with it.
Yeah.
But when you're inside the city limits, what do you do?
I wish they'd let me keep every one of them. I'd put them in my backyard and build pens for them, but I'm only allowed so many.
yeah.
But- Yeah. Okay, do you have anything else, ma'am, that you'd like to?
Thank you.
Okay, so do y'all want to wait and put this on a different date? It says want to take action on the animal safety. There's not really anything we can do at this time.
I mean, you said that you're gonna meet with him again.
Yes,
right?
sir, in the ABC clinic.
Okay.
After
Why
the
don't-
first of the year.
Why don't we do this, after you get through meeting with them?
Yes, sir.
And gather all the information and facts, then you come back with all of that.
I can do that.
And then we can make
Yeah, get a little more information.
a
I
right
can do that.
decision.
That'd be okay. We're gonna work on
I
it.
think we're gonna
Yeah,
have to do
that's
something.
all.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something, but,
That's what I
it's gonna have
said.
to be
We need to do
cost
something.
worthy.
Sit
We-
down
we-
and not do nothing.
Let you know that I'm willing to
Okay.
help.
Okay. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, number 7, there's no action that we can take on number 7. The gentleman, Joe Connolly, was gonna come and talk about this, and then he no longer works for that, so his boss, Trent Horter, was gonna come and talk, and he lives in Austin, so he's gonna wait and come back at a different time after the analysis is done. So number 7, there's no action on it. Number 8, council to discuss, consider, and probably take action on water meter at 2613 North Old Bruceville Road, requested by Stacy and David Arnold.
When they here,
They're not here.
Have they, excuse me, have
Go
they,
They
applied
didn't call or nothing.
and got a meter study yet?
Yes,
Yeah,
No.
they got the meter study. Isn't that right, Pam?
yes.
Yes.
Tell me that.
so what,
They're one of the meters out in
Bethany.
the area that we need to do the upgrades.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
On
They've
Bethany,
been
Ro-
in previous meetings
on
before.
Bethany Road or Bruceville, Old Bruceville.
It's on
Says
Bruceville
on-
Road, Old Bruceville Road, but it's,
Oh,
it's,
Bruceville.
Is
Yeah.
that south or north, that back up toward Box Range Road?
says north.
Yeah.
Well, that's on the one that's got a bunch, we got a lot of problems.
Yeah.
with that.
Yes, it's in
Yeah.
that area.
So
That's-
that means, what's been said before is no.
yeah, we just can't do anything about that right now.
They
Okay.
did fill out a form to be put on the agenda.
All right. we gotta
So,
get that.
so when is the upgrade? This is what we approved last meeting?
No.
Yeah, well, no, we approved for
No.
Johnny for the analysis, and we just give him
Okay.
permission to go ahead and start doing his thing.
Okay.
No, there's nothing been done since
No.
that, just a little
Yeah.
bit.
Okay, number 9, council to discuss and consider possibly addressing the speed limit sign on FM 107 3rd Street, requested by Howard R. Edmonston.
Could I say something on this?
Yes, sir.
About, I think it's 3 years ago, the council applied with TxDOT to lower the speed limit on 107 starting at the edge of town before the houses. Start there with 30 miles an hour and go all the way through to interstate. And they did a traffic study like they always do, and they came back and said, no, we will not change the speed limit. They will have to stay as they are, and you'll have to depend upon local police to control the speed limit. Now, that was 3 years ago. We could reapply, and they might change their mind, but I doubt it.
Well, I've talked to Chris Pruitt at TxDOT, and he said that city council has an ordinance that y'all can change the speed limit sign. So I talked to Ms. Owens, early in the month or last month, and you were gonna get with Mr. Pruitt and see where y'all stood and
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay.
Okay, I called him and told him that, he said that they could send somebody out and could probably come out and do an analysis of it and see what we were talking about as far as the sign saying 55, and then less than 600 feet, it drops to 45. So he said that he could come out and sign that. He says, but quote unquote, he said, if I come out and do that, he said, more than likely, we're gonna raise the speed limit instead of lowering it.
Okay.
And I said, well, we don't want it raised. We just want to make sure that it's far enough in between, so when they're coming in and they're going 55, don't go 2 car lengths and it drops to 45. They want to make sure that that signs are far enough apart that when they're coming in, they have time to slow down to get to that 45-mile-an-hour sign. And he said they were going to come out and check that stuff. And it said and I also talked to, of course, as I said, I talked to TxDOT, and then Mr. Dorsey, he went out there and he checked it too. We've been doing all kinds of checking on it and all that kind of stuff, and they are going to come out and do an analysis of it and see about moving the sign, but they can't guarantee it. And I told him that you had talked to a gentleman, and I gave him that name, and he said, well, he was going to get with him and see why they told you one thing and he's telling me another. Okay.
I do know,
Mr. Prater.
Go ahead, Rick.
I do know that they have come out and marked to move the sign.
Yes, sir.
The 55-mile-an-hour sign, they have it marked on the,
Yes,
on
sir.
the pavement out there in cone set, so.
Yes, they are.
They haven't got that done yet.
No.
But I was wanting to see if we could get the 45-mile-an-hour speed limit sign moved to where they're putting the new sign. Instead of being 55 there, it'd be 45. So.
Yeah.
We're,
Well, they're working on it, but as he said, they couldn't. He said normally when we send somebody out there and we start doing it, because I asked him, I said, is this costing the city anything? They said, no, it's something we do. He says, but we usually raise it instead of lowering it.
if you go out 107 and come back towards town, there's a 60-mile-an-hour sign before you get to the speed limit. I mean, the city limit sign.
Yeah.
Then you come even closer into town, you hit the 55, which is like we're up there on the top of the hill.
Yes, sir.
It's like 600 feet from the 45.
Yeah.
But as far as the policemen, I've talked to older officers that were here, and they clock people doing 80, 78, 80 miles an hour through town. And it's like,
Yeah.
Mr. Pruitt said, y'all can vote by per city ordinance to change that.
And we
situation.
checked into that.
Yes, I have.
I mean, city ordinance? Have we
No,
checked
I haven't
into
checked on the city
Well,
ordinances.
it's
I've
a-
just been talking with TxDOT.
It's a state highway.
It's a state
Yeah.
highway.
It's
so
up-
it's not even.
What
But
that,
it's within city limits.
Yeah, it's
so
up to
under y'all's
TxDOT to
jurisdiction.
change
I
those
think that guy
signs.
would probably
City
talking
can't
about
do
the
it.
Yeah,
regular
city
city
can't.
streets around.
It's up to
but the-
TxDOT.
Yeah.
It's under TxDOT that we wouldn't be able to touch,
He said,
Yeah, I know. Well, he said he
think-
was gonna check with that guy that told you that. He says because that is a TxDOT thing, that it's not a city thing.
I think
And
it's
he
probably how
said,
you-
here's
Yes.
kind of what he did to try to pacify me. He said, well, it doesn't matter. He said if we had it down to 25 miles an hour, they could still come in that town at 80 miles an hour. I said, yes, sir, that's true. It doesn't matter what the sign is. They're gonna drive the way they wanna drive.
it's 20, 80 and a 25, it'd be all in jail.
Be a
Yeah,
big
that's-
ticket,
yeah,
yes. Okay, Mr. Talbert?
TxDOT moves real slow. as you
Oh, I know.
It's been over a year.
I work for the government, I know how it works. You got all the
I've
bureaucracy
dealt
you
with
gotta
them
deal
too much, needless to say, but anyway.
Yeah.
4th Street there's a culvert that's wide open, has been, you can't turn the corner. For a year ago, they was gonna come fix it, TxDOT ain't fixed it. They said that's their deal, it ain't ours.
Sure,
But,
I understand.
I don't know.
Mr. Reed?
3rd Street is a hazard. 3rd Street's a hazard, speedway.
Mr. Wiggins?
Okay.
No, Mr. Wiggins. Mr. Griffin, you'll be next.
Okay, well,
I was just wanting you to tell me exactly, you want to put the 45-mile-an-hour speed limit sign where the 55 is
Yes, sir.
now. Yeah.
and if you come in from Chilton, coming this way, the speed limit signs are different on 7. They drop from 75 to 60 down to 45. There's no 55. So why can't we do the same thing
Well,
on 107?
that's a state highway, Highway 7.
If it's 107, state also.
It's not a state highway though.
Well, whose is it then?
Mr.
It's a
Wiggins?
farm to market road.
Well, okay.
That's what they
Whose
classify.
is the farm market road then? That belongs to the county?
No, it belongs to the state, but they have different rules.
That's Texas.
Mr. Wiggins has a
I'll
question.
tell you what, I mean, I think we should do, the council, is check on the ordinance, according to you, the state guy.
Mr. Pruitt.
Mr. Pruitt said that the city council could, regulate to any speed within the city limits, on any road. Okay, so let's check on that.
Yeah.
I believe it, I believe
Do
you're
what
wrong,
you can,
I believe you're wrong,
Yeah.
but also, you know, I'll take you at your word, that's what the man said, but we need to do our part and, check on it, at least
Check
check
again.
on it and find out,
Yes.
and then let's get back with it.
All right,
Do you happen to have a
And if
number
we have to-
for this, Chris?
I mean, I don't mind looking
Yes,
at the ordinance
Can I
myself.
get it?
If we find
If we
out,
have to get with our city attorney on it, you know,
Yeah.
do whatever we gotta do to find out.
find out what we can do,
And
okay?
then we'll know for sure.
Yes, sir. Okay?
Okay.
Phone number?
Is that it?
Okay, so.
What we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and try to get back a hold of TxDOT. And as we said, they do work slow. Finally got our street signs letting people know that we are here in the city limits. We finally got that. And, we're gonna get some lights under our bridges, but that's gonna be in January. That's gonna be in January according to TxDOT, but we will get back a hold of them on this also.
Great.
Okay, sir? With that, with,
Wonderful.
okay?
At least we, we do what we can.
And no, that's true, and I wouldn't have known anything about it if you had brought it to my attention.
We're trying.
Yes, sir, thank you. Oh, yes, ma'am, they really are.
I'd like to, this time I'd like to make a motion on that number 9, that we get with TxDOT,
Okay,
that the mayor get with TxDOT and check on it, and also that the mayor check on our city ordinance along with our police chief to see if we can regulate, the city council can regulate a speed limit on any street within street, road, whatever you want to call it, within the city limits.
depending on city.
all right, who seconded it? Yes, sir.
See Chris Pruitt's email address?
It would not hurt, it'd be,
I got his telephone number here.
okay, what's his, if you can just hand it to me what it is, and I can,
I don't email.
I don't mind at all
Take red
getting
note.
that from him, from you. Okay, phone number 254-867-2802. Okay, and that's Chris
Pruitt.
Pruitt. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, we have a,
Did you get that TxDOT?
yes, text dot
.gov?
gov.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Nikki made it and I second.
Oh,
Okay, we have Wiggins made a motion and Talbot seconded, that we, let me get here, number 9, that, the mayor will get back in touch with TxDOT and check on a city ordinance and with the chief to see if there's something that we can do about, getting the street sign, a 45-mile-an-hour street sign, and get that taken care of.
To see if the city,
Can set the,
Can do
the
it.
city can change the speed limit
If the city can
on
do it.
any road within the city limits.
Okay, if the city can change the speed limit on any road.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
City limit.
Unlimited. Okay, is that it? Okay, number 10. Let me get here to number 10. All right. Number 10, council to discuss, consider, and probably take action on approving the final plat for 911 Park Lake, where there are turning lots 16, 17, and 18 into one lot, already approved by Tabor and Associates. And that's what this map is. It's showing that they want to take these 3 lots. This is yours, Mayor, I'm sorry. Yeah, they want to take these 3 lots and turn them into one.
We've had this before.
it's,
Problem?
Yes, but now they're trying to, not this one, this is totally new.
What's the problem?
No, but I mean, we knew this with Bob.
Yeah, we've done with different things like this
No,
before.
no, specifically on this one, We haven't brought it before the
No.
council, but it's been.
No,
This is new.
this is totally
Oh,
new.
okay. I thought there was another one there on Old Bruce.
No, this is totally new.
Okay.
The Tabor has already approved it.
Yeah, Tabor has already, done his thing and, approved it.
Question,
Yes, sir.
what's the problem? What do we,
Yeah,
Well, there's not, they just, what it is, it's a plat, they went in, they done all of their work, they paid all of their money, and what they're wanting to do is take these 3 lots and make them into one.
all right?
And I just need approval. I need motions
Yeah, so
and stuff.
I'll also make a motion that we approve the final plat for 911 Park Lake and turning lot 16, 17, and 18 into one lot.
I'll second.
Okay, Richard. Okay, discussion, I had a hand up out here.
I just have a question as to why do they want to do that? What is the purpose? Is it a private owner or a business?
Miss Pam can answer that for you.
Yes, when you have 3 lots like that, and if you want to put one home, it has to fit on one lot, or you have to combine all 3 lots. So they had to combine all 3 lots to set one home in the middle of it.
Okay. I was just wondering if it's going to be a business of some
Plus,
kind.
they
or
can't
what?
get the
Yeah.
Plus water.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
they just want a big yard to mow.
Time for vote.
We have a motion to approve the final plat for 911 Park Lake, where they are turning lots 16, 17, and 18 into one lot. All in favor? Unanimous. See, I done that one right. Finally. All right. Number 11, council to discuss, consider, and probably take action on amending the original payment to Vivian Williams for the new city hall materials. The amount voted on November the 16th of 2021 council meeting was $18,792.02. The new recommended amount is $17,810.90. This was put on here, I guess I can explain it, can I?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, this was put on here, we was looking it over, and the city is tax exempt. So there was a lot of taxes that was paid on that and added into it. And so, Mr. Williams came down here graciously and sat down with Mr. Prater, and they talked things out and done some stuff. Mr. Williams done the he done everything he was supposed to do. He has anything we have asked this Mr. Williams to do, he has done. And so this is so all of the taxes was taken off, whatever little tools and stuff was taken off. He done his work. He's getting all of his stuff back. He's still got to get some doorknobs and stuff from our storage place over there. And so he agreed to do the 17, 8, 10, 90, and so we just need to vote on making sure this time final done, it over, out, and zip, and that man gets a check.
Okay.
Mr. Wiggins.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we pay $17,810.90 to Miss Vivian Williams. And that we, and yes, that we pay it prior to January 1.
Yes.
I second.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Mr. Bass seconded. Okay, so the motion here is that prior to January 1, that the city will write a check to Mrs. Williams in the amount of $17,810.90 for the services that was done on this building. Mr. Talbert? Sorry.
It's okay. And so, some of the supplies and things that he bought, he paid tax on. Is that correct?
Yes.
He didn't charge us any tax, but
Yes.
he paid tax. So, Mr. Williams, you gonna eat the tax, in other words.
No, he gets to take it off of his taxes.
He turned it into us as tax.
Yeah,
On the
we-
receipts,
Well,
it
some
was
of it was, and some of it
most
wasn't.
all of it.
But I mean, he's still after money, so I'm just wanting to
No,
ask the
he gets to
question.
take it off of his taxes now.
Yeah.
If he'd have done it now, it'd have been, that would've been fraudulent for charging us a tax.
Yeah, but there was a
And-
lot of mistakes to start with.
Yes, on both sides, yes, sir.
But anyway, we got,
I just wanna ask you a
discussion
question.
down here, Mr. Griffin?
Didn't we already approve paying them the 18?
Yeah, but then we found it wasn't a unanimous, vote.
It was not,
No,
I know that, but if you're gonna change it, you gotta just change the amount, not change the whole.
Okay, just change the amount, so, okay.
You have
then
to
that's
change
what we
the
just-
amount, not change the whole motion.
Okay,
That's what I'm talking about.
oh, okay,
Because you have two motions there, paying them 18 plus 17.
other, okay, so we just, okay, how will we put that? You wanna-
I thought we did, Cecil, correct me if I'm wrong, but at the November meeting, we voted to pay the 18,000.
Right.
Now, and that was a 3-2 vote.
Yep.
3-4, 2 against. And now it's come back up that, there was some adjustments that needed to be made.
Well,
And that was good that was caught, and both parties agreed to it. And so what we're saying now is, all right, both parties agreed, so let's pay the 17,810.90 and pay it prior to January 1.
And that's the total amount, period.
That supersedes the last year.
Correct.
Because we brought it
It
up,
kills
it was
the
voted
last.
on
I
pass.
know, but you passed the 18 something. If you pass the 17 something
Yeah,
without taking
we-
the 18
we-
off.
You're amending
Okay,
it.
You
we,
do-
okay,
you need to
let me
amend the amount.
rephrase it, that's true, you're true. Okay,
My motion.
the amendment,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
your
we need to
motion.
do it, say it's amendment, we have to
Okay.
say it's an amendment,
Yes.
Okay, I'll amend my motion then
okay?
to delete, do away with the $18,798.02.
Yes.
Void that,
Make an amendment.
and then make a new motion to pay the $17,810.90 prior to January 1.
There you go.
Okay.
We got it.
All right, first, second it, all right, and all in favor,
Get it done.
It is done.
unanimous, okay, great, we will get you a check, sir.
Way past time.
What'd you need, Miss Pam?
It was still Wiggins and Bass.
Wiggins and Bash, yes. Okay, number 12, council to discuss, consider, and possibly taking action on approving the minutes from November 16, 2021, and November 23 of 2021, council meeting. Yes,
I'll
Mr.
make a
Wiggins?
motion to approve the minutes on the November the 16th, 2021, and November 23rd, 2021 council meeting.
Okay,
Second.
okay, Colbert seconds. Okay, we have a,
Well, you gotta vote.
I know, but I was gonna read
Okay,
read
go
the
ahead.
thing. I don't have to read that yet?
No.
Oh, okay, okay, all in favor? Unanimous.
I thought you were
I thought I had to
moving
read, I thought I
on.
had
You
to read the
did, you
motion.
could, but I thought you were moving
No,
on, I'm sorry.
that's fine. You gotta keep me in line.
Yeah.
Okay, finances, 13. Council to discuss, consider, and probably take action on approving financial reports for October 2021 and November of 2021 for general and water funds. Mr. Talbot?
I'd like to make a motion to approve, the finances for 13A and B. At the same time, I reviewed them, they
Okay.
look like they're in order to me.
All right,
I'll second.
okay, have first and second, Wiggins seconded. All in favor? Unanimous, thank y'all.
Man.
Okay, mayor and city council agenda item request. Council to discuss and consider possible taking action on taking applications for a city administrator. Mr. Wiggins.
Okay, I'll put that on there.
Yes, sir.
And then 15, I'll put on there. But, I just feel like that we need to go ahead and put something out and get some applications in, and just take our time, you know.
No hurry.
Not hurry. Oh my God, Miss Owens is up here every day, folks, doing a great job. Pam
Oh.
back there is
Ma'am.
Above and beyond.
doubling and tripling. I don't know how she does it.
Me
We're
either.
doing a great job, and everything's seems to be working good, but we still need to put applications
I
out.
agree.
So I'd like to have applications, have something put out, and let's get some applications put in here.
And take your time.
Yes.
And take our time.
You're working as mayor ever since, almost.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. I told you I was gonna earn my $12 a year.
What do y'all think about a time frame on when to get the applications back in?
What do you think, Miss Pam? I mean, do you know where to send it out? How do we, how do we even send it out to let people know that we're hiring somebody that has, you know?
Several websites.
Oh, several, okay.
Yeah.
So we want 20.
What do y'all think about when they ought to have them in with the holidays? You think 1st of February, or Mr. Thomas said that he thought that's too soon?
Yeah, in February?
Well, if you're gonna take your time, find the right one, I mean,
Yes.
we
At
can
least
do it.
no
I mean,
early,
we
I
can
wouldn't do it no
any
earlier.
time, right?
February 28th.
Yeah, I think that would be February 28th. In other words,
Because they got the
yeah.
holidays in January.
The last time we advertised for administrator, we got like 130 applications.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, yeah.
Not 12,
Threw 100 of them away.
Yeah.
And
But you
when-
see, the thing is, word of mouth.
Yeah.
It's gonna work better than anything
Yeah.
else. When you put it out there like nothing gets my wife's school teacher too.
Yeah.
You put them out there, then you get disgruntled people and all kinds of stuff. I don't know exactly, I know how to do it, but I don't, so I ain't gonna be in no hurry.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say, that would give us quite a while to find someone that we can afford. And in the meantime,
Well, we gotta afford one.
we've got number 15 to
Yeah,
consider.
we're gonna go back there and talk about
Yeah,
that.
because,
Yeah.
this just too much on the
It's
mayor.
too
The
much.
mayor is just
Well, too much on
in
Pam.
town. Yeah.
Delegate.
I just sit up here and look pretty most of the time.
Yeah. I tried that and it never worked.
So, okay, so you think, the end of February, February 28th? is that
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Sounds good to me.
Is that good to y'all?
Me.
Sounds good, Mr. Williams.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we put out, take applications for city administrator and the applications end on February 28th, 2022.
I'll second.
Okay, Bass seconds. All in favor?
Oh, yeah.
Got a question? Yes, sir, I'm so sorry.
This doesn't affect the vote, I guess, so I'm waiting till that.
No, that's fine, go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
It's just maybe a suggestion or maybe a possibility is for the council to consider before we go out advertising for applications, that the council and the mayor participate in an exercise together where they put together a job description for the new city administrator. And of course, everybody's input will be important. So that would be one suggestion. And I think once you have a job description that, everybody's participated in, then you know kind of what you're looking for. And that would be helpful. And as I say,
I have
it's
something to
just
say.
consider. The other thing would be, maybe to conduct, have some of our council just conduct a survey of cities, towns of our size, and just a survey of salaries that are paid to these, so that in your advertising for applications, that you could have some kind of a range of salaries dependent upon experience,
In education.
just a range of salaries.
That's a good suggestion.
Yeah, it is,
Then-
yes.
Then the third thing would just be that when the time comes and you do have applicants that you maybe sorted through and want to take to a higher level of consideration, to invite maybe a couple of members from the community to participate in a committee with the council, so that you have some input from the community to get you some feedback about the person. So those would just be maybe possible ideas, and that's all.
All right, Mr. Bass, you have a
Yeah,
question?
all that sounds good and I agree with you, but we already have a description, job description for the city administrator. It's about, what, 15 pages long. So, of course, it could be reviewed and maybe make some changes, but it's a real good
Yeah.
job description.
All in favor?
Okay.
I do
What are you
think
doing?
we need to review, let's review those job descriptions. Before we put out applications.
Yeah.
And,
They need to have
well,
the
we can put that in
education.
there,
Okay,
what the job description is.
okay, all right, so, we have a motion and a second on, taking applications for a city administrator. All in favor? Unanimous. Wiggins and Bass on that. Okay, number 15, we're gonna go into closed session on this one because it's due to the personal items of Mrs. Pam Combs. Okay? So, yeah, on personnel matters, yes.
You have to now see a time.
And the time now is 8:09.
Come back to
They can escape.
We promise it won't take long.
That's right, go ahead. It takes me a while to get up.
That's okay. It does me too.
I played golf today and my knees
Uh-oh.
that's the first time in 3 weeks.
Oh, I bet you are getting sore then.
Well, I was in the hospital.
Yes. I heard about that.
Yeah. I don't need to lie on nothing.
They did the survey, this one removed the damn sign further down the road, didn't it? Yeah, it's marked off the page now.
Where they're gonna put it. Where they're gonna move it forward, they take the 55 off.
I probably pulled it out of the grants.
And he's gonna stick it forward down and put the.
Yeah, that's not hard. That's tough. No. 45, go to where the new 55
It's
is.
really the best thing you can do. That's, you know, it's great.
We want 45 there. Remove 55 further down. Still within our property area, but it's closer to the end. Lose 55 where it is, those two are too close together. We'll walk apart. What we want is 45 to go to 55 is. Yes, so. Well, we're gonna put a new one, tear the old one, we don't want the old one to go away.
I don't want those little teeth, you know, see.
See the ordinance, Bruce said, see the ordinance.
Good warm coffee out there.
Someone's gonna stay out here to begin with. Hopefully, you just sit
Did y'all miss us?
We did terribly.
It don't take us long. We get in there and get it done.
That's the fastest we ever came. Man. Good.
Okay, it is now 8:15 and this meeting is in session.
Okay. Ms. Owens?
Yes, Mr. Wiggins?
I'd like to make a motion that we raise our city secretary, Pam Combs' salary, give her an additional hourly raise as we discussed in executive session, and that to be retroactive to when Sonia Bishop left and continue until we have a new city administrator and that new city administrator assumes their duties.
Second.
Okay, and Mr. Talbert seconded. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank y'all. Okay, number 16.
16.
16.
That's what I thought I said. What did I say?
You said 16.
Oh, 16.
Yeah.
Council to discuss, consider, and possibly take action on changing the council meeting starting time at 6 p.m. instead of 6:30 p.m. And I put that on there
Amen.
because I thought, we get here at 6 o'clock instead of 6:30. 30 minutes is not a lot, but it means a lot when you're here till 8, 9, 10 o'clock. So I put that on there.
I so moved.
Okay, you got a motion? Okay, we
I'll
got.
second it.
Okay, Talbert made a motion to take action on changing the council meeting starting at 6 instead of 6:30 p.m. on council nights, and Bass seconded. Okay, I got one more. Go ahead.
Got a vote?
All in favor?
Got a vote.
Unanimous? Okay, who wants to do the last one? Oh, question.
City councils are now just once a month.
Once-
This is the third Tuesday of the month.
It's the
Fourth.
fourth Thursday
Fourth Thursday.
of every month. The only reason it wasn't this coming Thursday, that's Christmas Eve.
Fourth Thursday of the month.
Fourth Thursday of the month at 6 p.m. Okay? Do I have a motion?
Yeah.
I move we adjourn.
Okay, Mr. Griffin adjourns. Talbert seconds it.
I'm game.
This meeting is now adjourned. Thank y'all very much for coming out. Yes, sir, you did. Well, thank you. Yeah, that's true. I do.
Hey, you take it.
I'm getting there.
I mean,
Pam, did you get the time to close?
Okay.
and
you.
8/17.
Okay, I will.
But it may be, it'll probably be after the first of the year.
Okay,
I'll email you and call you.
all right.
I keep calling you. I don't have a phone number,
Okay, will do.
hey, but you see him.
Holy moly.
Good job, Linda.
Another one.
You won't see him.
I saw a picture of you in the hospital bed.
That was about 8 years ago.
Yeah, I've been